Hi, this is Lara at Elliott Wave Stock Market with a free DJIA Elliott Wave analysis for you to end the trading year, dated December the 30th. And I'm recording this video 20 past 3 a.m. New York for December the 30th. Well, the 31st now, New Year's Eve. Here's your daily chart for the Dow. This is my main wave count, which expects it's in a C wave at intermediate degree to the upside to end primary 2. The C wave is subdividing into a 5 waves impulse, and within it, for this main wave count, I have this fourth wave at blue or minor degree as an expanded flat correction with an A, an expanded flat for B, and expecting a C wave at pink or minute degree to the downside. This B wave so far is a 131% correction of this A wave, so this is exactly within expectations for a B wave of an expanded flat. Our target 12,520, where C black reaches 0.618, the length of A black. However, we shouldn't see a new high above 14,198.1 as primary 2 can't move beyond the start of 1. This main daily wave count would be invalidated with movement below 10,720 as wave 4 can't move into wave 1 price territory. I'll have an alternate at the end of this analysis for you, which expects that upwards movement is over. I would expect for this main daily wave count that we should see a C wave end substantially beyond the end of A, and it will probably have quite a good overshoot of this nice wide parallel channel containing C black to the upside. Taking you now to a 4-hourly chart, we're going to look at all of this green C wave from this low down here, which is this point down here, and this is green wave C with an orange 1, 2, 3, 4, and a long drawn out fifth wave here. There's no Fibonacci ratio between 3 and 1 orange, but wave 5 orange, if it was over here, is just 14 points longer than 0.618, the length of this third wave. There's a nice alternation here with a zigzag for wave 2 and a triangle for wave 4. Within this fifth wave, we have a zigzag for wave 2 and a sharp little zigzag for wave 4, a deeper correction for 2 and quite a shallow correction for 4. And within the middle part of this third wave, we have an expanded flat here for the second and a simple zigzag here for the fourth. So nice alternation there too, and it's nicely contained in this little narrow channel I've drawn using Elliott's technique, a trend line from 1 to 3 and a parallel copy on the low of 2. It sees a nice little overshoot for the fifth wave and also the strongest part of the third wave, which is really common. We may see our first indication of a trend change at minute degree at least, with price movement below the lower edge on an hourly chart of this little narrow channel containing this wave 5 to the upside, but it's not confirmation of a trend change. I expect we'll get that when we see price movement below 11,379, as at that stage, because that's the end of wave 4, downwards movement would not be able to be considered a second wave correction within this with fifth wave. If we see price movement below this point, then we can reasonably expect it to continue on down with some strong downwards movement for at least a couple of weeks or so. Taking you now to an hourly chart, where we're going to look at just the last little piece of movement, where this 3 up here is this point up here. Here's the end of that third wave with a sharp little zigzag for a fourth wave. Thereafter, for a fifth wave, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meets all the rules and guidelines. Thereafter, this downwards movement so far may be an unfolding leading expanding diagonal for a first wave. Also, for my alternate, it also could be a leading expanding diagonal for an A wave, but I have a different interpretation for the alternate, which I'll show there. So either way, it looks like it could be unfolding as a 5-wave structure. If we see that, the chances that we've seen a trend change at pink or minute degree would slightly increase, but it's not confirmation of a trend change. In the short term, this structure would be invalidated with upwards movement above 11,603, as any further upwards movement for this fourth wave of this diagonal may not move beyond the end of 2. We should be expecting another 3 or 5 wave structure, a zigzag or an impulse to the downside for wave 5 to end this diagonal, likely to come to end around about the lower edge of this trend, around about on this trend line. And we'll have this main wave count confirmed with price movement initially below 11,536, as that's where the alternate hourly wave count will be invalidated. But it's not confirmation of a trend change. It's not final confirmation. This wave count expects a zigzag or an impulse to the downside, most likely a zigzag, and then a three-wave structure to the upside, which then can not move beyond the start of one, which at that stage this wave count would be firmly invalidated with movement above 11,613. When that correction's over, another five-wave structure, this time an impulse to the downside. So taking you now to an alternate where it's all the same to this point and this point, and thereafter it differs. Instead of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's possible also to see this piece of upwards movement as a zigzag, an ABC, and within C, a 1, 2, 3, 4 just touches 1 but does not move into wave 1 price territory. Final fifth wave up. So this upwards piece of movement is a little ambiguous. It's possible to see it both ways. Thereafter, we could see this downwards movement also just as a three-wave structure. If it was going to be a 5 and a leading diagonal for A, then there really isn't that much room to move, so that's why I've labelled it here as a 3. This wave count would be invalidated with movement below 11,536 as wave 2 may not move beyond the start of 1. So this wave count expects that the very final fifth wave of the fifth wave of a terminal C wave may be unfolding as an ending diagonal, where each subwave has to subdivide into a zigzag. So we've got a zigzag for 1, a zigzag for 2 would be expecting a zigzag up for 3, and so on. This wave count will be confirmed if price moves above 11,613, and our main hourly wave count at that stage would be invalidated. If we see price move above that point, then we can expect that the trend change is not here yet, and it's still a little way away, maybe another week of this long, laborious, slow upwards rise. A little bit further up to about 11,718 to about 11,804. At 11,718, wave 5 purple will reach equality with 3, and at 11,804, wave 5 orange will reach equality with 3 orange. So that's how I've worked out that little target zone. It would see some reasonable Fibonacci ratios, or at least Elliott wave ratios. So that's what movement above that point to a new high means, continuation of upwards movement probably for another week or so. Here's my alternate daily wave count. It's all the same up to this point as my main daily wave count. However, thereafter we could see this as an A, a three-wave structure for B with a truncated C within it, and a short little C. Interestingly, this duration is the same as wave 2 blue, so there is a nice relationship there. Thereafter, this upwards movement, as I have it labelled for my main wave count, is a C wave. Here it's a couple of degrees higher, and it's also a satisfactory 5-wave structure. So upwards movement could possibly have been over. We may not see any further highs for the Dow for a very long time to come. That is possible. However, I would want to see price movement below 10,720 as at that stage. It couldn't be a fourth wave correction because 4 can't move into 1. At that stage I would consider that primary 2 is over and primary 3 is underway. I'd also want to see a really strong breach to the downside of this trend channel. Not just an overshoot, but a good strong breach. This wave count would be invalidated with any new highs above 11,622, but all that would mean really would be it's just going to continue up for a little bit further, and as there's quite a lot of divergence with price trending higher and MACD trending lower, a breach of this invalidation point to the upside would just mean that the end is just not quite here yet, and maybe another week or so. This is an expiring trend. So either way, we're probably either at the end or very close to the end of upwards movement. We should be seeing some strong downwards movement. I expect it's more likely that it's just at minute degree and we still yet have higher highs for the Dow in the future, whereas that fifth wave at minor degree finally ends primary 2. I think we need to be a little bit patient with it and not call an end to it too soon. That's all for me with your Dow analysis, and I hope that everyone else is having a really awesome New Year's.